Groundskeeper Chat series. I am your host, Meg Kruger, and today I am joined by Mr. Will Cole. He is the Director of Field Operations for the Salem Red Sox in Virginia, correct?
Yep, that's right.
Look at that. It's been 6 years that I've been doing this, and I still will go through the little intro, and then I always have to ask. Like, it's even if I know that I have it right, I'll be like,
Yeah,
right, correct? Like,
yeah.
I need that, to make sure I didn't completely butcher it in the first 30 seconds. So, welcome, sir. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
And we were saying that I can't believe we haven't met in person before, but we
Yeah,
also have never done a groundskeeper chat. So you're a first time guest member, but
yep,
it just seems crazy because I have, followed you from the very beginning of my time in this industry. So
yeah.
it wasn't until I saw your article with Virginia STMA that I was like, holy crap, how have I not made that happen yet? So my apologies right off the bat.
That's all good. We'll meet hopefully in Fort Worth, and you know,
Yes, Fort Worth, Texas. I've
yeah,
some of the photos leaked from the board members' time down there, vetting out the
yeah.
situation. I did see them at Billy Bob's, so I think that's in our future.
Let's go. I think it's gonna be a good time. It's always bigger in Texas, and it'll be the first time I've ever like truly been in Texas and get to experience it. So I'm
Same
excited.
for me. I've never been. I've been to the airport many a time for a layover, but
Yeah,
never outside of an airport have I spent time in Texas.
I'm super excited to try the barbecue. I'm from North Carolina, so vinegar-based barbecue is my life. So to be able
Yep.
to try the bigger barbecue that they always say.
Yep.
Will be I'm pretty excited for that. That's
Well, and
probably
hopefully
all I
that
need.
means that no matter what meal we have in terms of like the conference meals, that they can't mess it up because
Yeah, just throw barbecue out there. Come
they really should.
on.
It just keep it simple, give the people what they want,
Yep.
and that's I agree. That will be a treat. And any time to leave Cleveland, Ohio in January is a win for me. So
Our winters aren't as bad, but it's always fun to leave for a warmer weather climate. I enjoyed it when we were in Daytona, and I got to eat seafood,
yep.
and my wife and kids were very jealous. But so I'm looking forward to it again for another warmer climate for sure.
Well, yeah, because we were what in Palm Springs last year,
Yeah,
and I was surprised at how like cold I was every night. Like the
yeah,
days were beautiful, the sun kept you warm. As soon as that sun went down, it was like that Texas chill that, or
yeah.
not Texas, that desert
The
chill
desert.
that like I was not expecting.
Yeah, I mean, I always enjoy it when it goes to like warmer climates. I think we're in Tampa, I believe, the year after. So
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
super. I love Florida. I'm a bigger guy, so I would probably never live in Florida. Um, but to visit,
Yep. It's
uh,
beautiful.
my kids love Disney, so that might be one that we all go as a family, and I slip away for a day before the
Yes.
baseball meetings.
Smart, very smart. That's what we did. I went down to Florida this year to interview Marianne Baglos. She
Yeah,
runs the ESPN
yeah,
complex down there. And my kids came with me and my husband, and we got a day at Disney. So it was
yeah.
wonderful. So it was a first time for my husband. And, for the longest time, he was just like, oh, it's a scam, it's a money grab. Like there's no way that it could be worth that money. And I will say, like 2 hours in, he was texting my sister-in-law's, like planning a family
Big
trip
one.
for the following year, like
Yeah, that was my wife,
six
I guess. Like
days.
your husband and my wife probably know each other. My wife, yeah, growing up, Disney was like our vacation.
Okay.
We went to the Outer Banks in the winter again, North Carolina.
Yep.
Um, and then we went to Disney, and it was like growing up, that was my
Yep.
like our family vacations, and we had never gone as a family, and it was my kids' first time. My wife had gone down there and played field hockey before.
Okay.
So she was like, "Yeah, I've been." It was like, I don't like crowds. And it
Yeah.
literally, within like the first day, I think the first day we went to, I think we went to Magic Kingdom the first day.
Okay.
And I have two little daughters. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. And my 5-year-old dressed up as the princess.
Oh,
We
so
went to the
sweet.
Bippity Boppity Boo thing, and it
Oh,
was
so sweet.
within like an hour, my wife is like, "All right, when are we coming again?"
Yep.
We've already got another trip planned in 27, so
That's amazing. So you did that this year then?
yeah, we did it. So
Okay.
we have a college that plays here, Roanoke College plays here. So
Okay.
our opening day is like 2 months before everybody else's, and I know I'm not the only one in minor leagues, but
Yeah.
so we went right before their season like really got going. As
Okay.
kind of like a last vacation, like family. Um, I'm not the only one. I'm sure
Yeah.
there's a trillion other guys in professional sports and even sports turf altogether that once the sport starts, it's family time is very rare. So
Yeah.
it was a good 6 days away. We
Oh,
stopped at
very
Bucky's on
nice.
the way and went to Disney and did all that. Me and my son were Star Wars fans, so
Oh, so
it was
cool.
it was during my birthday, so I built a lightsaber, and then my son built his own like droid, which was pretty cool.
So
So it
cool.
was, it
I
was fun.
love that.
Uh,
Yeah, we did the light. We built my son. We went when my son was like almost 5, and then my youngest is 2. And it
yeah,
was like prime time. Like they could not have had a better time. Like
yeah.
it was magical. Like I know
My
they
3-year-old
like must
loves
be
Toy
pumping
Story.
something in the air there. I swear.
It's that Mickey magic.
It's crazy. It really is. So you mentioned that you grew up in North Carolina, but give us
Yep.
the full turf origin story. Like, when did
Yeah.
this career come on your radar? Was it a happy accident? How did you find yourself where you are today?
I would say it's a happy accident. I played sports all through high school. Always joke now. I'm in professional baseball. I've been in baseball for a few years now, and never played little league baseball. Never played anything
Okay.
actually. Never, no diamond sports. It was always soccer, basketball. I played golf. Still play golf. So it would have been my sophomore year in high school. We moved up to Virginia, Matthews
Okay.
County, which is the second smallest county in Virginia. It's very
Okay.
small. My graduating class in Greensboro, North Carolina, went from it was like 1,200 to my graduating class went to about 40. So
Oh my
it's a very,
gosh.
very
Okay.
small town.
Tiny.
Yeah, it was very tiny. And so we were there for 2 years. I had grown up going into that area. My grandparents owned a house in Gloucester Point, Virginia,
Okay.
which is like 45 minutes from there. Um, and my family owned a campground from like the
Okay.
70s on
Yes.
until whew, uh, early 2000s, like
Okay.
mid 2010, 11, 12, somewhere in there. I can't ever keep track. So we grew up in the area. We stayed there until my senior year in high school.
Okay.
Went to West Point, Virginia, which is not the West Point in New York,
Okay.
the Army. That's always the first question.
Hmm.
Um, so that is like it's a paper mill town. Smells
Okay.
like burnt broccoli 24/7.
Love it.
When my wife and I met, she hated going there. um, but yeah, so I've kind of like started. So I played sports. I was one of the ones that probably the NCAA and the NFL concussion protocol was named after. I got concussions from basketball, soccer, and football.
Oh, geez.
Um, my brothers, I have 5 brothers and 1 sister, and my older brothers love to tease me about how I've got a concussion from diving into a soccer post.
Oof.
So I've had some serious concussions,
Yeah.
serious knee problems. I am 6'7", so height is always there's never it's not always good being tall.
Yeah.
Um, so I wanted to stay into sports, but I didn't want to coach.
Okay.
And I started uh, in sports turf. I started here in Virginia. I started at York County,
Okay.
which is a small Parks and Rec. They have a sports complex down there.
Okay.
It's right beside Williamsburg.
And how did
Um,
that, like, was that just like an ad on a website or in the paper, or did somebody say like, hey, this might be a good transition, or how did that really
um,
happen?
yeah, so it was just, so I have a 12-year-old son, and it was just me and him at the time, and
Okay.
I needed a job. And
Hmm.
my mom actually worked for the Department of Social Services,
Okay.
and she had known I had done some like managing of the visa programs for landscape companies in
Okay.
Richmond. So I had been in turf before, and then she said, "Hey, the Parks and Rec department's hiring. I know you've been wanting to get into it, back into it." And um, so I applied. I needed a job. I needed health insurance for my son. It was just me and him at the time, and it kind of like kicked off from there. I
Yeah.
stayed there for about a year and a half. Met my wife online on Tinder,
Love it.
and she was living in Richmond at the time.
Okay.
And she had told me that, hey, I want to settle down in Roanoke. We were getting serious at the time, and I had said, well, you're talking to a guy that lived in North Carolina all his life and then moved to the Tidewater, Virginia. I have no idea past Richmond, like what's past Richmond. I
Yeah.
hardly even knew Charlottesville. So she graduated here from Roanoke College, played field hockey here for a few years, and she said, "Well, the alumni weekend is coming up. Let's go there." And I had a Jeep and loved to go off-roading with it, so we were like, "All right, well, let's go to alumni weekend. I can check out Roanoke there." We're in the middle of the Blue Ridge Parkway.
Okay.
The trails here cuts through here. I mean, our ballpark has been ranked in probably some of the best views in all of baseball, up there with PNC and all the other ones that have beautiful
Yeah.
views because it's 360-degree mountains.
Oh, beautiful.
So we came up here. I was like, this is awesome. I loved
Yeah.
it. And at the time, I was kind of tired of not really tired of the water, but just kind of needed a different feel.
Yeah.
So we decided that, all right, well, let's start making the trek. I actually got a job at Longwood University when Alpha Jones was there. He was the associate
Okay.
athletic director. So me, Alpha, and Bill James,
Okay.
I believe he's at East Carolina still. At
Very
one point,
cool.
we were all three in the minor leagues, which was kind of fun. But so I worked under Alpha for just under 2 years, and then finally found a Parks and Rec job here in Roanoke.
Okay.
I wasn't with Chad Croft, but kind of worked
Okay.
beside him a little bit, and got there, and then I decided, well, we were looking to we had gotten married, and we had started talking about having kids.
Hmm.
Well, and sports turf back then, it was not very good money for a family. I was
Yeah.
hardly making it, even it was just me and my son Landon.
Yeah.
Um, so I left sports turf and started working for the city of Roanoke's transportation department, and
Okay.
um, we did right of ways, we did a smaller library. We ended up with some parks by the end of my tenure there. But I just became the turf manager there. It it really kind of helped me figure out what I wanted to do with my career. At the time, I was like, I'm fine here. Like I can make a career here. Government benefits. My benefits from York County and Longwood decided came with it. So it was
Oh,
like I
very
was able
cool.
to like, but the timing was like I could retire at 45 or whatever.
Okay.
Um, if I had stayed there long enough, and I was able to really kind of find my worth.
Hmm.
And then it became more after a while, I was like, all right, I kind of missed that itch
Yeah.
in the sports turf more. It was like being in the turf management is like it's great, but it doesn't have that adrenaline.
Yeah.
So I started working game day here at the Salem Red Sox starting in 17. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and was kind of on and off from 17 until basically I got the director job here 3 years ago. So
Very cool.
I worked under Budgie Clark and Joey Elmore, who's Joey's at Asheville for the
Okay.
tourists, so he's still in minor league baseball. Um, so I was able to keep in the sports turf, kind of keep my feet wet in it, get that adrenaline of like, all right, getting the field ready within 45 minutes, 50
Yeah.
minutes, and you know keeping my foot in and helping the turf managers here that needed help. And like when Budgie got here, he had very low confidence in cool season. He was more of
Yeah.
a Bermuda guy, so he had a lot of questions about Kentucky bluegrass. So I was able to keep in the sports turf world that way.
Hmm.
Um, and then uh, I had an opportunity to leave and didn't. Stayed there, got too comfortable, I feel like. Um, And then I actually had a Parks and Rec manager come up to me and say, "Hey, I know you want to get back in sports turf.
Hmm.
We are trying to rebuild a sports complex here that has been neglected for God knows how long, and
Hmm.
we need somebody that can really get us on to the right level." And Samantha Dickerson definitely got me out of my hole because my mental health was way down. I had,
Yeah.
we had just had my first daughter,
Okay.
um, and I was not in the best headspace because again, it was like I found my worth, but at the same time, I knew where I wanted to be. I just didn't have the right opportunity to, and
Yeah.
and we didn't really want to move my family. So when the right opportunity came, so I took over Rivers Edge Sports Complex,
Okay.
which is downtown heart of Roanoke, and was there for 2 years. Got it going, got the championship fields is what they called it. It was two latitude 36 Bermuda fields that they had just
Okay.
put in, and we got those going. We rehabbed those, and then we won some awards. We won Field of the Year for VSTMA.
Very
Won the
cool.
Pioneer Athletics, the
Fields of
field,
excellence.
yeah, field. So that was fun, and it definitely my mental health went from pretty down to holy smokes, this is like, why did I leave?
Yeah.
And my wife had always been pushing me to get back in. I just never
Yeah.
found the right opportunity. I'm not a guy that's just gonna jump in and be like, oh, hopefully it works out. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's not really like my way of life.
Yeah.
So uh so I did that for 2 years and got back into Parks and Rec, and it was fun. I enjoyed it, and we had a great crew there. Well, Joey Elmore left
Mhm.
Asheville to go to Asheville, and then Salem opened up. And I had always said I wanted to be back into baseball,
Yeah.
and work in the minor leagues. And the opportunity came. Alan Lawrence, the GM for Salem, offered me the job. It actually happened over Christmas break. I still remember he was actually going to Boston for the NHL game in Fenway, and he was on a
Okay.
train. I think he was going from Cleveland to Boston on a train.
Okay.
And he offered me the job, and it's kind of been a whirlwind since. First year here, it was. I think I was here a week, and the college started, and their season intertwines with ours just a little bit. The Red Sox
Yeah.
just a little bit. They at the time they started in January, so I
Very
got
cool.
here. I was here a week, and then bam, college baseball.
Yeah.
Um, and then it started. I actually hired my first assistant here, which I think he'll blaze it up once he gets out of Virginia Tech, Dakota Hetzel.
Oh,
He,
yes. Yes.
he was my first assistant here. My first year, we had won
Very cool.
the Field of the Year for professional and the Pioneer Athletics Field of Excellence also here.
Very
Our
cool.
first year, so I always say that first year turned him into the dark side. He was a communication
Yes, I
yeah,
remember talking with him. He was like maybe going to do the media side of
yeah.
sports.
Yeah, so he originally he was like dead set on the media set,
Yeah,
and then he spent a season with us, and now he's monitoring at Virginia Tech,
I
and
love it.
I think he had the SFMA internship in Charlotte last
Oh,
summer.
very cool.
He's been crushing it. And, I think when he graduates, if I have a assistant open, and then Matt down in Charlotte, he has assistant open, we might be fighting for him, but
I love it.
he definitely has a bright future. And then last year, um, my assistant quit middle of the season.
Mm,
So that was a good kumbaya moment for me, come to Jesus moment.
yeah,
And I actually listened to a lot of Dr. Goatley and Lisa Goatley podcast actually through
yeah.
you. And we're 45 minutes from
Okay.
Virginia Tech. We're not too far, so I use Mike a lot, and Mike and Dan are great supporters. And if I have any questions,
Yeah.
um, I'll have them answer. They're more than happy to answer it. I support the turf program, and we'll
The
go.
absolute gems of the
Yeah.
earth, those
Um,
two.
yeah. So we'll talk, and then there was it was it was in Myrtle Beach. So we go to the North Carolina, South Carolina, um, SFMA event
Okay.
that are in Myrtle Beach every year. It's North Carolina, South Carolina, now Georgia, I think.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
And I had talked to Lisa for a while, and she has great chats about mental health and kind of
Yeah.
like how to, how to get past it. And,
Yeah.
my wife and I were trying to figure out the minor league thing with three kids,
Yeah.
the baseball thing. And the first year went all right. Second year was pretty tough because again, it was like I lost my assistant, and
Yeah.
it was me, and then I was tying in some game day guys with it. So that was always a challenge. And then um, got through last year. It was definitely a challenge, and it pushed me career wise, and it made me realize that all right, I got more in the tank than
Yeah.
I thought I did, and I'm better at this than I thought. And so this year, fast forward to this year, I got a new assistant that worked for AAA in
Okay. Cool.
Jacksonville. So he's a Virginia Tech grad, and he'll probably light it up eventually once he gets his career going. But
Nice.
um, we're trying it out. Luckily for us right now, it's for me and my wife at least for right now. My 12-year-old is the only one that's in like sports really. My
Yes.
5-year-old's
Yes.
starting to get there. But my 12-year-old plays basketball, soccer, golf.
Oh my
He's
gosh. Yep.
a big lacrosse player, which the Marylander and my wife absolutely loves that.
I love it.
She's from Maryland, so Maryland lacrosse is very big there.
Yep.
Um, so my 5-year-old's starting to get into like dance and gymnastics, and
Oh,
so it's
it's
gonna
so
get
tough.
crazy. It's gonna
My
get
son's
crazy
been
here next
asking
year.
for like a full year to play soccer and baseball.
Yeah,
And my husband and I are like, okay, like this is the hard cutoff. Like once we get one of them into the sports, like, goodbye. Like
yeah.
goodbye to everyone. Nice knowing you.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure. Luckily, I've been very, very like I don't want to get my son or any of my kids in like travels
yeah,
sports super soon. I did that all through my childhood. Played travel soccer from middle school to end of high school,
yeah,
and it kind of took some of the love of soccer away. I
for
love soccer
sure.
to death, and I eventually will see my way back probably to soccer turf eventually.
Love it.
I tell CJ Buck who comes by every once in a while that eventually I'll get back into soccer, and
I
I will
love
see
it.
it eventually. So, um, but we try not to get into involved once they're like, okay, this is a sport we want to play.
Yeah,
Then we'll look into the travel stuff. But luckily, it's only been the Parks and Rec aspect, which is great.
yeah,
It teaches our kids, that they can sign. Like my son right now is at a lacrosse camp, summer camp, and then
fun.
next week he's never played baseball ever, and he all of a sudden wants to play. So it's like, all right, well here, Parks and Rec
I
program's
love
got
it.
a camp, so we're instead of a full season, he gets a camp. So I
That's
feel like
that's really what I hope to achieve like with my kids is the community element, the being able to try everything because that was my experience growing up. I lived in like a very rural area.
yeah,
So like club sports and travel sports did not exist. Like and if you wanted to pick up soccer as a freshman in high school never playing before, like you could be on the varsity team.
yeah,
Like and it was just this wonderful experience. Like I loved it so much. And then my husband was the complete opposite, where like if you didn't start, getting personal training and like coaching as a 5-year-old, like you were screwed.
yeah,
And he has 5 brothers and all of them were like crazy into the wrestling and state champions and they were at like a D1 high school like these crazy athletes and each of them either has already had like 3 knee surgeries or completely burned out by the time that could have helped
yeah.
them get into college. They were like, F this, I do not want to do this anymore. So we have these, hopefully we find a middle of the road for our kids because it literally like plagues me when I think about it.
We're trying. My wife did travel across and field hockey, and then play field hockey in college. So we're like Luckily, it's only my son currently, and
Yeah.
we got a little ways for our daughters. But it's like, all right, once hopefully our daughters come in, we'll kind of have like a game plan. Really,
Yes.
it's kind of just going by the seat of our pants right now, just
I
trying to figure
know.
out what our son wants to do. And he's going to middle school, so he'll get to enjoy. He'll get to venture into like middle school sports, so he'll get to try out, and if he makes them, he makes them, and then it kind of
Yeah.
like, all right, well. Now this becomes all right. Well, what kind of really sports do you want to play? And you
Yeah.
know,
Pick
the
one.
seasons kind of intertwined, so you kind of have to pick at that point. But
Definitely. Well, and I want to loop back because I wanted to ask you a question because definitely to make it through a minor league season, especially when you have the college team utilizing the field as well. And like you said before the chat, you guys host huge events. You have,
yeah,
bananas coming this week. Um, how do you toe that line of remain like you need to have mental toughness and
yeah.
you need to be intact that way. How do you toe that line of, being mentally tough and resilient and persevering and almost being abusive to yourself, like just ignoring the signs or not like being in tune with like, okay, I need to step back or I need to take a break here. Like I just feel like it's got to be such a balance because like you have to do things that are really hard like that
Yeah.
most people don't have to do, so it's like your job requires you to go that extra mile, but how do you make sure that you're keeping yourself intact at the same time?
Um,
I know
it's
it's not easy.
it's definitely a juggling act for sure.
Hmm.
You know, when I first started, I had here, I was like, all right, we're back into it. We know it's going to be long hours. I guess luckily for me, it really wasn't luck, but it kind of was a worst case scenario. It was coming in a week into the job, and I had
Hmm.
college baseball before I even get the soul test back. Um,
Yep.
I'm into, I'm into college baseball. So
Mhm.
now I've kind of gotten into a routine. They start a lot later now. They start in February compared to
Okay.
January, which you'd be surprised. That month is a huge difference. Um, and it's just kind of like for me, I try to take the off weeks a lot more serious now.
Hmm.
Earlier in my career, I was like, off weeks, I got to be here. I gotta be here. Like there's
Yeah.
so much stuff to do. Granted, there's always stuff to do, but luckily for me, I have a great staff.
Hmm.
My assistant, then we have like a summer intern, I guess you can call it. He's one of our game day guys that would rather be here during the day.
Yeah.
So he helps out a lot. And I still have Dakota on my game day staff, and I have some
Nice.
other great game day guys that are definitely willing to come in and help to kind of give myself and then also my assistant some help,
Mhm.
and then try to get out here early at least. Or I've definitely tried to put my foot forward this year as like a husband slash father, trying to make sure I give time to them more
Yeah.
than like obviously myself. I'll go play golf. Try to go play golf once a week.
Hmm.
My son plays golf. My daughter's starting to get into it. So the other week we went and played 9 rounds. My daughter just putted, but
I
uh,
love it.
just trying to like the little things, getting out of here. Um, you're always going to be. I don't. For me, I feel like I'm always probably going to be the first one here and the last one out.
Yeah.
My clubbies always make a joke, said they're the last ones out, but I'm also here hours before them.
Yeah.
Um, but just trying to keep my mental health is like my wife and kids will come and eat dinner with me,
Nice.
like randomly, and they'll just come eat dinner, and then I'm back at it.
Yeah.
Fridays, we have fireworks every Fridays when we're in town, and they'll come and we'll eat dinner or go get ice cream um, and then watch fireworks.
I
So
love
just
it.
like the 4 or 5 minute, like where I can shut my brain off just a little bit. I won't say I completely shut it off,
Yep.
'cause I feel like I even like I'll dream about what I need to do, which is
Yes.
unfortunate for my sleep. Um, but just those like little things, get my wife and kids here to like, even if it's for 5 minutes, my wife will
Yeah.
drop off coffee and she'll be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And just to be able to, you know, check out for a minute or two
Yeah.
is always huge for at least for me. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, it always works different for everybody. And then my son's 12 now, so he's starting to absolutely love working here. He's actually
Yeah,
working this week once his lacrosse camp's up, and then he'll kind of help us with banana ball and to be able to
very cool.
experience that. And it's funny because he says he wants to be a groundskeeper, and I think it's going to be it's a who's going to go at it first. My daughter, who's only 5, loves it.
Oh,
She
that's
loves
so
being out
cool.
here, and when the women in turf post and we talk about it, and we talk about some of the women that she's like, do girls do this? And
Yeah,
I'm like,
well,
yeah, of
that's so
course.
sweet. That's so sweet.
And I get on my Twitter and I'm like, here's there's Leah who was in Reno, and then there's
Yeah,
Megan, and it's like and then there's a ton in golf. There's way more in
yes,
golf than there is sports turf. So it's kind of like and, Nicole in Baltimore. We go to O's games. My wife's from Howard County, Maryland, so we'll go to O's
very
games.
cool.
I'll talk to Nicole, and Nicole will high five my kids, and we'll it's just trying to. I I kind of hope they don't be a groundskeeper, but it would be cool.
It would be very
uh,
cool.
I'm sure my dad was a firefighter, so he probably said the same thing, and
Yeah,
was like, I hope none of them do this, but I'm sure deep down he was like, this would be cool to have,
yes,
generation
yes.
first responder,
Well,
which
and
my little
they've
brother.
definitely got the genetics, like that work ethic and,
Yeah,
a love for, really putting it all on the line, I'm sure.
for sure. So
And it's, in the grand scheme of things, if you can go to work and really love what you're doing and be outside and not wasting away in an office, like what more could you want for your kids?
yeah,
Hopefully by the time they're in it, we have the whole work-life balance thing figured out a bit better. Um, Maybe
yeah, we'll see.
ChatGPT will be like helping us in some ways that that could benefit them, but in the grand scheme of things, it could be a really wonderful life as well,
For
for sure.
sure.
So I want to talk about Banana Ball because
Yeah.
actually last week, James, have you ever met James Slavity?
Of course, he's actually a board member on Virginia. So,
Oh, okay, very cool.
uh,
Look at that. You know more about him than I do. Um, he was telling me he was like, you should really start digging into like what groundskeepers are having to do to host, the banana ball of it all. Because
yeah,
he was talking about like, the stadiums that have had to like completely build a baseball field in their, arenas or whatever, or in
yeah,
their stadiums. And I was like, I should go right to the source. I emailed the banana ball people and I was like, I want to have you guys on the groundskeeper chat and hear their origin story. But I would love
yeah.
to hear from your perspective, like, what is the logistics of that? Once they were on the schedule, how did that coordination work out? Were they reaching out and telling you this is what we need, or were you kind of presenting them with like, hey, this is what stage will be set for you guys when you show up?
It's really so a lot of it. That's really kind of a question for my GM, but a lot of it's like, hey, this is what we need from you guys.
Yeah,
For me, luckily, I have a lot of friends in this industry. James, Tim, in Kannapolis, and I'm part of the DBH umbrella, so a lot of banana ball has been played in DBH
yes.
Stadium. So I was able to get a lot of those questions answered.
Hmm.
Um, and for me, it's kind of like I have to sit back and realize the banana ball themselves. Like we have the firefighters and the tailgaters coming in a few days,
Yep.
uh, and everybody always talks about how the bananas are the home grow trouters of baseball.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think so. Again, I played basketball all my life. I've seen the Harlem Globetrotters, even worked the Harlem Globetrotters scoreboard before.
Very cool.
It is definitely rigged for them to win. They never
Yes.
won for God knows how long. Well, the
Yes.
Bananas, uh, I think the Party Animals won the series stadium,
Very
um,
cool.
eh, with them. So, I think the sport of baseball is obviously in need of some upgrades, and I think
Mhm.
the banana ball is helping that.
Yeah.
Um, so for me, it's kind of like, all right, you need a rehearsal time, BP.
Yep.
They need time out here to figure out their trick shots
Yep.
because I'm Kentucky bluegrass. They go all over. They have artificial in Charlotte, and
Yeah.
when they play at the Panther Stadium, and they go natural at Clemson,
So cool.
and they just came. It's actually pretty exciting. The firefighters play the Bananas at Fenway,
Okay.
well, then they come here.
Very
Um,
cool.
so
I
we're the
saw
same.
All American Rejects did like a surprise concert during
Yeah,
the
that
game.
was pretty cool. And if you've seen social media, you've seen where the All American Rejects have kind of like popped up in backyards and stuff. So, uh,
Yes. Crazy.
All American Rejects were one of my favorite bands. So it was really cool to see them at Fenway and just kind of like a concert while they were playing.
Yeah, so
Um,
cool.
at this point, it's kind of like I try to one thing. I guess the dad in me, I try to live these events as kind of like a dad. Like,
Yes.
well, how will my kids look at this?
Yes. Yeah.
So instead of just being an absolute asshole about everything, like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Like, look, banana balls setting the world on fire.
Yeah.
Let's support them. Let's have fun. My staff, I'll have some staff members here and they'll get to have fun. Again, my son will work beside me. So he gets to like see the backstage of it, plus
So
see
cool.
the whole game, which will be super exciting for him. So that's kind of how I look at it is like
Yeah.
live through my kids' eyes when it comes to this. I've started to like scratch the surface and special events here altogether.
Hmm.
So when I'm like trying to come up with special events, it's like, all right, what will my kids enjoy?
Yeah.
What would a kid enjoy, or a young adult, or something like that. So that's I try to keep the groundskeeper out of it,
Yeah.
because in me, I'm like, oh, they're dancing all over the field, all over the grass and cleats, and oh god. But at the same time, it's like, come on, like to be able to say that the banana ball came here.
Hmm.
Again, we're in a small region of Southwest Virginia, and we're not Richmond or Norfolk, which is where they're going. They've already been to Richmond and they're going to Norfolk. Um, Again, it's kind of fun to see like, all right, the firefighters played at Fenway, and then guess what? Now they're coming here.
I love it.
So that's kind of how I look at it. Is like, just buckle up, enjoy the ride, support them the best they can, like the best you can, and um,
Well,
you
I think
know,
they need to get you out there dancing.
I would do it. My wife actually said it too. She was like, "You're going to be on one of their TikToks." I said, "Well, probably either me or my dog. I have a grounds dog,
I love it.
that helps with my mental health quite a lot, and then my guys
Definitely.
also. Um, so she's like, "Oh, you and Millie are going to be out there on the TikTok video." I said, "Hey, if they invite me doing it,
I
I'm not
would love
gonna say
it.
no."
We need to cut this and put it out there to them. Like, hey, we've got a willing participant here.
Yeah. So I, I think it's going to be a good thing for the future.
Yeah.
They got two more like banana teams coming in
Very cool.
October, so they're going to basically have their own league,
So cool.
which I'm sure will open up to smaller markets, and hopefully a lot more people get to experience them
Yeah,
and like
definitely.
what banana ball's about, and just kind of like family fun, and
Yeah.
hopefully somebody falls in love with the sport of baseball, and who
And the
knows?
rest
You
is
never know. You never
history.
know what happens. So.
Yeah. Nope, it's great for the game of baseball, but also I just love how it has family at the forefront. Like it
Yeah.
really is about having like the culture of baseball be back to that like American roots, that family roots where it's like everyone can come out of the ballpark and have fun here, feel safe here, that kind of, message, which I really love.
Fan first is what they call it.
Oh yes, there's the coined term. I love it. And
Yeah,
did were you in Savannah for SFMA? Like, did you get to go on that facility tour?
no, so I didn't go because we had snowstorms that
Okay.
year up here.
Okay.
So I didn't get to go. So
Yeah, there's always some like crazy weather that week of January. Like nobody ever makes it to SFMA like unscathed. It's like everyone
yeah.
has some war story or they don't make it all together because it's always something crazy happening.
Yeah, I ended up bailing out in Savannah, and then I had decided I was like, yeah, Salt Lake City, no, I'm not
Yep.
even trying. If I
Yeah.
can't get to Georgia, I'm definitely not getting to Utah, and it
Yeah.
seemed to be all right getting there, and then I know getting out. with some of the people that are in this area. We're like, yeah, we skate by. So
It was a little
I'd
dicey.
rather not get stuck. So,
Definitely.
but
Yeah, I think I was like 9 months pregnant when Salt Lake was coming around, so I got out of that one. And I kept telling people in Palm Springs, I'm like, I will not be here next year. I'm gonna have another kid. Like, and the timing has not lined up. So unfortunately, I think I will be there. I was trying to tell God that I was in control, and he's like, haha, I've got
nope,
one for you.
it always happens that way.
Truly.
It took us a while for Emma, my oldest daughter, and it just happened. And
Yep.
it's kind of like, all right, well, God told us it was time.
Yep,
So
definitely.
it never goes as planned.
The control freak in me, like my sister and brother-in-law are expecting right now, and he was asking me this weekend. He was like, "What was the hardest adjustment of becoming a parent?" And I said, "Definitely the control element of it. Like feeling like you're out of control, maybe for the next 27 years of your life,
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
and having to feel like find comfort in." Just that chaos. Like that was the hardest adjustment for me was not being in control. And, my son is 5 and I still am like, how am I not able to like manipulate this in my favor? Like this is crazy.
You take the little wins
Yes.
by
Yeah.
heart. Like we're out of diapers, pull ups. My youngest daughter is now not a baby is how we call it, and it's like she was our last, so it was like, all right, now now
Yep.
we get the we got the teenager coming, the teenager attitude coming,
Oh,
which
geez.
is
Yes.
awesome, and
Buckle up.
I can't tell you how many times I've been called bro about 50 times a day. And then my daughter's getting into kindergarten, so she's starting to
Yes.
get her own little character and attitude, and then my 3-year-old is well, she's a three teenager, so
Yep.
uh, terrible twos have nothing on threes. So
Yeah. Yeah, my oldest, he's 5, so he'll start kindergarten in the fall, and that's another one of those things where like my husband and I, we both work remote. So when we want to like pick up and leave, we've always done that. Like
yeah,
if we see a really cheap flight, like we'll buy
just
it
go.
and go and do whatever we want. And our kids have been like all over the world that way. And we really like looked at all the different school options, and all of them were like, yeah, if they miss more than 15 days, you get reported to the state. And I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, yeah. They want you to have that mental break, and then they're like, oh, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah. So it should be interesting. That will be another element of control being taken from us, is having to make sure that he reports for duty every day. That will be interesting.
Hopefully, he likes coffee.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how he does. I could tell you my 2-year-old loves coffee. He drinks my coffee every single day.
That was one thing that my wife and I had to get used to after our daughter was born was coffee, and now I don't think I can go a day without it. So
Oh no, I don't know how anybody could. I really like I look at people differently if they're like, "Oh, I don't drink coffee, just a lot of water." And I'm like, "I don't you need a tougher life, I think."
for sure, I drink coffee, water, Gatorade. When I can find Cheerwine, I'll find Cheerwine and drink some
Yes.
Cheerwine. North Carolina a delicacy there. So
I love it. Well, yeah, no, I think I'm really excited for the banana ball of it all. You'll have to email me afterwards and
sure,
let me know how it goes. I'm looking forward to your social post on a recap of it.
yeah.
And I think what was it like last weekend? Your recap was that, you guys pulled the tarp. How many times was it?
So it was 7 times,
Yikes.
which still doesn't top a lot of I know like St. Paul pulled the target, God knows the amount of times, like that opening month. Uh,
Yeah.
but for us, like we're in the mountains, and I like to tell people that the mountains can be our friends or our worst enemy.
Yep.
95% of the time, the mountain is our friend, and
Mhm.
we'll break the storm up. And like rainouts, I can count on one hand how many rainouts we've had in the 3 years that I've been here. Not any doing of me, uh,
Yep.
but the mountains.
Yeah.
Um, well, last 2 weeks ago now, it was like living in Florida, or
Wow.
like being back. in the Tidewater, Virginia. It was thunderstorms, and there were two games that we started, and nothing was on the radar. And literally 20 minutes in, 15 minutes in, ta-da! There's a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
So and at that point, game's already started. You're basically just crossing your fingers that maybe we'll get help. Well,
Yeah.
we did not. We were in that the opposite of the 95%. So that 5% where the
Yeah.
mountains basically say screw you.
Yeah.
Uh it built. There was one storm here. It was in the middle of a double header on Saturday, and it was already a game that had been canceled, and
Oof.
and and we're sitting at home. We're sitting on home plate, my GM and the umpire, and it was kind of the umpire's call at that point because we already had one game in,
Yeah.
and there was lightning in the area. So we were like, well, let's hold off.
Yeah.
I said, okay. And he tells me, he says, well, what's your gut say? Should we tarp? And I was like, I don't know, man. My confidence I was beat up for sure.
Yeah.
It was a bad week for me. Probably me and every other minor league groundskeeper or sports turf manager in the world
Yeah.
kind of counts themselves as a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Something goes
Definitely.
wrong, it's like the end of the world. You play that moment back and you're like, all right, what could we have done different?
Yeah.
And at that point I was sitting at home and he's like, what's your gut say? I said, we need a tarp. And so we pulled tarp. Not even 10 minutes later, it came down about an inch and a half of rain. It was like our dugouts flooded, and
Wow.
it was fun. And then we finally called a break on Sunday, and we had a doubleheader on Sunday, which is pretty rare. It's a travel day, so we don't really like to do doubleheaders on
Yeah.
Sundays. And luckily we had it started sprinkling a little bit. It was a little pop-up drizzle within about 5 minutes of that first game starting. And I'm like, oh, I was the calm, cool, collected in me after that week, was gone. So
Yeah.
I'm like sitting here beside my tarp, almost having a panic attack, really like, oh
Yeah.
God, here we go again. I gotta go and tell the managers and the pitching coaches, hey, guess what?
Yeah.
We got rain, and luckily the mountain that is behind our outfield wall helped us, and it was just a little drizzle and made it about 130,000% humidity, and
Oh my
we
God.
finished the week off. I wouldn't say strong, but the best we could. And luckily we had a week off last week, and we got to get away. My wife's family owns a house in West Virginia, and we got to get away for a weekend, and it
Good.
was like, all right, it's a good reset.
Yeah.
Now,
Recoup.
now we look at the forecast for banana ball, and it's like, oh shit, buckle up. Um, so we'll see. I don't know. Hopefully we get some luck on our end, and I think we will. I'm pretty confident now. My confidence is back up, but
Good.
that
Good.
that, that week it was definitely like loss after loss, and then
Yes.
going in and talking even to my own my own pitching coach and manager. I was like, hey, there's a chance of rain today, but I don't know when it's coming. It,
Yeah.
it can come or it can't come, and it was. I turned to one of my guys and I was like, this is why I'm not a groundskeeper in Florida. I
Yes.
think it
Yeah.
rains. I know the jokes always it rains in Florida at 3 o'clock or something like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
but never. So I enjoy my mountain weather. It's pretty harsh winter, but you know, I at least know I can track a rainstorm and be
Yeah.
like, all right, well, it's gonna rain. Not, oh, the game started, first pitch is gone. Oh no, we're about to burn a starter, which is like
Yeah.
probably the term that you never want to use in baseball altogether,
Yeah.
no matter what level. I wouldn't even say minor league, college,
Yeah.
anybody. Burning a starter is like the worst thing possible to do, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, we had to, and it,
Yeah.
it was I always enjoy posting things like that because a lot of the times it's like we always catch ourselves posting the glamour shots, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I
Yeah. I
try
was going to ask you that. Like, how does that help, either get that confidence back up or just, connect you to the industry when you're able to like post that kind of stuff and in the moment, connect you to people, but also for you to go back at the end of the season or something and just look at your own feed and be like, look at all that we managed to accomplish this
yeah.
year.
Um, so it helps me a lot to post things like that. I know it comes few far in between because a lot of people just they either just are on there or they post glamour shots, which nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Um, those what I call shitty posts or negative posts will come out, and um you know there was a lot of us within our league that were having the same issues. We weren't the only team that was like this, and
Yeah.
um so I was, I build relationships with a lot of the other guys in our league, and Tim down in Kannapolis was like, "Oh Lord, have you seen the radar?" And I'm like, yeah, I've seen it, and we were kind of like going back and forth, like, what's your situation?
Yeah.
What's my situation? And Logan and the Lynchburg, I always text him, and it was funny because our team left last week from here to go to Lynchburg, which is what we call the 460 rivalry. They're like an hour away, hour and a half
Okay.
away. So, and I went on Tuesday, and I like to go to different places. I've gone to quite different places, um, and just help.
Yeah.
If they want it, I'll be more willing to go out there and get my hands dirty. Just because
Love
I'm a
it.
director here doesn't mean I can't be a game day grunt there, or just kind of learn. That's kind of how I learn different things. And the first day I went was a Tuesday. It was the first game of the year, the first game of the homestand, and it poured.
Oh,
Luckily, we had good. They pulled tarp twice before pregame,
wow.
and then we got the game in the eighth inning. We put the tarp back on, and luckily it was already a complete game, so it really didn't matter at that point. But
Yeah.
it came down pretty hard. There was some crazy thunder, lightning strikes, and it was funny. He was like, "Ah, you brought the rain with you." Um, so that was always that's a fun joke. But yeah, I mean, it helps me mentally when I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm getting my ass kicked by rain, or um, I I tell my GM last week or 2 weeks ago, I'm like, well, we could be the wind surge. They had a tarp ripped in half with a lot of their equipment on it.
Jeez.
So it's like, might have might have banged some games, but at least I'm not having to order a tarp. Or
Yeah.
I feel for those guys. Obviously, I'm not making fun of them at all, but
No, no,
uh,
no.
you're like, all right, it kind of keeps you in check a little bit. You're like, it's
Yeah.
not that bad. It could be worse.
And I'm willing to share that, even though it's their worst moment, but how that can, connect to other people or just help other people stay grounded yeah, is a
Yeah, for
big
sure.
deal.
And Ben does a great job doing that too. So
Definitely.
that's not the only one he's ever posted. And I I try to post some stuff where I'm like, this is not pretty. We take pride here in Salem. We're the only cool season grass in the Carolina League. Everybody else is warm season Bermuda. We got one artificial shaw artificial turf in Fredericksburg, Virginia. So we get our asses handed to us
Mhm.
about this time. We look real good beginning of the season, and then from June to September, we're holding our breath.
Yeah.
I always joke and say I become a golf course superintendent at some point.
Yeah.
I'm out here walking hose and hand watering
Yeah.
hot spots because it comes up. It's 100 and it was 115 degrees day
Crazy.
one of our homestand, and we were coming up with ways to like we were getting grass tip burn
Yeah.
from the heat on our BP protection. It was like stuff I had never seen.
Yeah.
Um, so we try to keep minding that and take pride and stuff like that. And I'll post things like that, and then I'll look at the beginning of the year, and we're like, all right, we're looking good, or
Yeah.
we're having a bad homestand, or like, hey, I always try to look at it as, me and my assistant will sit down at the end of the year and say, all right, what are the things that we did wrong? Some things that we did wrong, things that we did right, some things that we can improve on, um, some things that we can make better for us, our staff, our upper management.
Yeah.
Trying to, our upper management is really really good, and kind of like letting her do our thing.
Mhm.
But I'm a person that it's probably the government employee in me is the communication aspect. I
Yeah.
tend to over communicate with my upper management, But just trying to keep them in the loop, like what could be better there. This year was like the year of, all right, on an off week, we try to take one day and play golf
Nice,
or just
nice.
get out and
Yep,
go sit down and eat lunch.
yep.
And the majority of the time, I don't even eat lunch. So
I love it.
yeah, having those posts definitely help. Me, my staff, I love seeing other guys.
Yep,
So it makes me feel like I'm not the only one having a bad day. So,
definitely.
but
I love it. Well, and from the moment that you mentioned that, you guys are surrounded by mountains, I've been mentally calculating in my head how I can make it out there because that sounds like a dream. My husband and I, like, we love the mountains. And I think the last time we were like in the Blue Ridge, we were in like Maggie Valley, North Carolina.
okay.
And we just absolutely loved that area. So just know that now you're fully on my radar so that I might be popping up in your corner of the world
Hey,
someday.
you're more than welcome. I will try to give you the best tour that somebody not from here can give, but I did a lot of running around here. I was a marathon runner for a while,
Oh, very cool.
um so there's a lot of like little spots that
Yeah,
may not show up on like the tourist websites
I
that
love it.
I would definitely show you and your husband. So
Well, yeah, and I will come. I'll at least come not on the week of Banana Ball, and maybe when the temperature has gone down a bit. But I would love
the
that.
fall time's the best time because of the leaves. That's when we get a lot of like crazy people and tourists and
Yeah,
uh, the snowbirds from the beach decide to come up this way.
nice.
Um, so
Everyone's driving like a crazy person on the road.
yeah, and I think I can't ever keep up with the Blue Ridge Parkway because it's like closed because they're that they got to maintain it or whatever. But it's always there's always a beautiful drive on the Blue Ridge. Definitely in the fall,
Very
temperatures are
cool.
great. You can
Very
drive down the
cool.
Blue Ridge with your windows down and
I'd
not be
love that. That sounds like a dream. Sounds like a dream.
yeah.
Well, Mr. Will Cole, we appreciate your time today. We're gonna set you loose so you can go prepare for the week ahead, even if that means just mentally prepare for it.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us, and I look forward to meeting in person sometime soon. We'll make it happen.
For sure. If not, we'll see you in
Alrighty.
Fort Worth.
You have a great rest of your day, and we'll be looking for your post after Banana Ball.
Awesome. We'll see you soon.
All right, bye-bye. Thank you.